Alright, so today it's Monday, and which is, everyone knows, is International Chest Day. Today is going to be the first video series of the introduction to chest. This will be the chest for basics. And like I said before, if you're just getting into working out, then you haven't built the stabilization muscles necessary for more complex movements. So they're all going to be mostly machine based where possible. So they might seem like a simple basic workout,
Calling all the basic bitches.
but that's the point. It's just introduction to getting into working out. So hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be, a couple simple exercises, and we'll get to it. Alright, so the first workout we're going to be doing is the Smith machine bench press. It's a great way to get into bench pressing for a beginner because it has spots right here. You'll see me adjusting. You can see them right here. It'll make more sense once I show you, but if you don't have a spotter and you're at your gym alone and you want to start bench pressing, then this is a great introduction to it. So I'll show you how the setup is and it'll make sense. Alright, so on the side of the Smith machine there will be some supports right here. Once I lay down, it'll make more sense how to do it, but basically you just set these here and this prevents it from crushing you if there was any kind of incident. So once I'll put it back on the tripod and you'll see. Alright, so another tip to take note of is, it seems kind of obvious, but lining up the bench in the exact middle. And another thing that you'll see is where on the side of the Smith machine it slants, so you can kind of see it goes up at an angle. So you're going to want to face the bench the way that this will come back down away from your throat, so it'll touch lower down on your chest. And in terms of how high to mount it, you'll mount it just as high as you can, while comfortably racking it without hyperextending your shoulders. Alright, so on this beginner program, we're going to stick with 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on each exercise. So I'm going to show you guys how the form looks whenever you will be benching with this Smith machine. Alright, so just a few more tips and then I'll let you guys get to it. So on determining how far apart you want to space your hands, you basically want to go about shoulder width and then just outside of that. So on the bar there's going to be some what's known as knurling. It's basically like this stuff that helps you to grip the bar. And you'll see right here where it starts, there'll be a ring on here to give you an indication. For me, I'm about 6 foot tall, and I use that ring as a reference. So I'll put my pinky here. Depending on how tall you are, you want to adjust accordingly. And I'm not going to go too deep on the form right now, but basically what you're going to want to do is to set your feet, and then you'll retract your scapula. I know it's going to all sound confusing whenever I'm explaining it now, but just take a look at how I set it up. So you'll have a slight arch in your lower back, which is a normal neutral spine, and then you'll set your feet right around here, set them back so that you can use leg drive to push back, which will counteract the weight going up. So I'll show you guys what that setup looks like real quick. Alright, so for the next exercise, we're going to stay in the same spot. So what we're going to be doing is called the incline bench press on the Smith machine. So it's going to be essentially the same form as what you just saw. but it's going to be at an angle. So it's roughly about 30 to 45 degrees depending on how you set it up. I'll show you guys the setup in a second. Alright, so what we're going to do differently now is we're going to adjust the bench right here, and you'll see me do that in a second. And then as well, we're going to adjust the bar and the safety support. So that's what I'm about to do right now and show you guys. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to sit down and show you guys like I just was before, but so you'll see where the bar is going to touch on my chest and see how high the safety supports are. So I didn't explain it on the last exercise, but if you have an option between putting it to where it comes, you know, this far off of your chest, or the safety support is lower, obviously you're going to have to settle for the not coming and touching all the way to your chest. It's a trade-off for safety. You can't exactly fit the machine for how every one is built. So I chose to go with the safe route since I don't have a spot. Alright, so what the incline bench press is going to do is it's going to target your upper chest. So that's what gives you that nice meaty look right there, so you don't have these bare collarbones showing. Alright, so I'll show you guys a couple reps. Again, we're going to do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Alright. Alright, so the next exercise we're going to be doing is going to be the incline cable flies. It's going to look like I'm doing decline. I thought that for the longest time, but it actually works your upper pecs, so that's why it's the incline fly. So just like before, we're going to do 3 sets of 10, well 8 to 12, but I like to switch legs, so you'll see me standing with one leg like this, because you can't really stand with both legs comfortably. So I'll switch legs back and forth and just alternate, just to keep some symmetry. Alright, so another thing to take note of is how your arm is. So you're going to want to keep it straight with a slight bend to it. Because as you're coming up, it's starting to work your biceps, and that's not what we're trying to target right now. Alright, so I'll show you another set of what it looks like. Next exercise we're doing is going to be the decline cable fly. It's pretty much the same thing as the incline cable fly, except for the cables will be up here and we'll be coming down, working the lower part of the pec as opposed to the upper part of the pec by coming up. So I'll show you guys a few reps of that. Alright, so another note I forgot to tell you guys is how you place your hands. So we're doing a fly, not a press. So the difference between a fly and a press, palms will be facing the floor as opposed to a fly roll to be parallel or neutral grip to your body. Hope you guys can hear me. So you'll see another example. Alright, so the last exercise for today is going to be the PEC Deck Fly, which is just essentially the same thing as cable fly, but if you guys have access to one of these PEC Deck machines, they're great. With this, it's a fixed path, so you don't have to worry about if you were to do a cable fly, your arms, going up and down. So you have a consistent range of motion right here. So one thing to take note of is how to set it up. So there'll be a little pin on the top that you can pull down, and this changes the range of motion. So you're going to pull it all the way back. If you keep on going back as far as it'll go, that's usually used for hitting your rear delts. So we're going to come back one before that, and you'll notice there's a slight gap between them, so they're all evenly spaced, but the last one's a little bit farther back. Alright, so the way this machine works is it's a dual pulley system, so it's independent. Whatever weight you pick, it's going to be evenly distributed between both sides. So you can do one arm, you can do both arms. I'll show you on this. We're going to do one arm because it gives you a farther range of motion. So I'll show you guys an example here. So we're going to take the PEC deck and come to right where your sternum is divided evenly, and then we're going to come slightly past that. So I'll try and get a close up in a second so you guys can see just that extra little bit of motion changes the whole workout. Alright, so we're all up close and personal here, but it's the only way for me to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Hopefully this thing doesn't get in the way. So you can see as you come to here and you're not fully past your sternum, you can see it's engaged, but whenever you go slightly past, you get the full range of motion by crossing that center line. Alright, so one more thing to keep note of is keeping your scapular retracted, which is your shoulder blades. See, this is scapular retraction, so we're going to keep those pinned to the back of the machine right here. And you'll see, so as you start to get more fatigued, you'll notice it. So you want to keep your scapula retracted the whole time. So you can see, as you start to get tired, more fatigued, you're going to come off the pad like this. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you'll start to notice as you try to get those last few reps, start to come off the pad. We want to stay stuck in the back, keep our scapula retracted so we're getting full pec engagement. Alright, so I'm going to stop talking and just show you guys what the exercise looks like, and then we'll be done. Alright guys, that wraps up another one. If you liked it, like it, dislike it, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.